Right. Good morning, children. Welcome back to Ican Physics Academy. Now, in this class, we are going to see the current carrying solenoid acting as a Bohr magnet and also obtain the expression for magnetic field along its axis. Let's enjoy the class. So, what is the first word? Solenoid. Okay. So, what is solenoid? A long, closely bound, a helical coil is called a solenoid. When the length is much greater than its radius, then it is taken to be ideal solenoid. Okay. So, let it will be the solenoid. Okay. So, when the current flows through the solenoid, then the nearer end acting as south pole and further end acting as north pole, and it is given by end rule. Okay. So, it acting as a Bohr magnet. So, outside the coil, the magnetic field is 0. So, here also the magnetic field is 0. So, between the two coils, the magnetic field is 0. So, along the axis of the solenoid, the magnetic field is uniform. Okay. So, the current carrying solenoid acting as a Bohr magnet. So, nearer end is acting as south pole, further end acting as north pole. So, what is the second one? Obtain the expression for magnetic field along its axis. Okay. So, each turn is acting as a circular coil. So, we know very well that the circular coil carrying a current, it produces the magnetic field, that is mu naught Ni A square divided by 2 into A square plus X square power 3 by 2. Okay. This is for single turn. Okay. Now, there are a lot of turns when it is going. Then it becomes the solenoid. Okay. So, for that solenoid, let us consider the diagram. So, this may be the solenoid of large number of turns. So, it acting as a Bohr magnet. So, the length of the Bohr magnet can be taken as 2L. Okay. So, exactly at the middle. So, it may be L and it also L. Okay. So, due to this circular coil, so its distance is dx. So, what about the distance from the midpoint? It can be taken as x. The radius of the coil is taken as a. Okay. So, at a point along the axis, so at this point, I am going to calculate the magnetic field produced by the solenoid. Okay. So, what may be the expression? dB equal to mu naught Ni A square divided by 2 into R minus X the whole square plus A square power 3 by 2 of the small area dx. Okay. Now, we can integrate on both sides. Okay. So, when you integrate dB equal to mu naught Ni A square by 2 into integral minus L to plus L of distance by R minus X the whole square plus A square power 3 by 2 into dx. Now, the R is much greater than A, so A square can be neglected. So, when you integrate dB, so it becomes B. So, mu naught Ni A square by 2 into R cube into integral minus L to plus L of dx. So, when you integrate dx, so it becomes mu naught Ni A square by 2 into R cube. So, when you integrate dx, it becomes x with the limit minus L to plus L. Next, upper limit minus lower limit. So, mu naught Ni A square by 2 into R cube. Upper limit minus lower limit. So minus minus becomes plus. So mu naught Ni A square into 2L divided by 2 into R cube is the magnetic field. So in general, we can modify the equation. So how we can modify the equation? Mu naught by 4 pi into 2m by R cube. So this is the final magnetic field at a point P along the axis of the solenoid. Okay. A steady current of 2 ampere flows through a circular coil having 5 turns of radius 7 centimeter. The coil lies in XY plane with its center at the origin. Find the magnitude and direction of the magnetic dipole moment of the coil. Okay, so 35 B question. So what is the magnetic moment? That is N I pi into A square. What is N? N is the number of turns, is pi. What is I? I is the current, is 2 ampere. What is radius? 7 centimeter. Convert the centimeter into meter. So 7 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. So magnetic moment is N 5 into I is 2 into 22 by 7 into A square. So 7 into 10 to the power minus 2 into 7 into 10 to the power minus 2. So 7 getting cancelled. Okay. So 5 2s are 10. So 10 power plus 1. Here we are having minus 2. Here we are having minus 2. Okay. So 7 2s are 14. Remainder 1. 7 2s are 14 plus 1 15. So minus 2 minus 2 minus 4. Minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. So the magnetic moment is 154 into 10 to the power minus 3. Minus 3. This much of ampere meter square. So this is the magnitude. The answer can be taken as, so 10 to the power minus 3. So before 3 digit we can go to the decimal point. So 0.154 ampere meter square. This is the magnitude of magnetic moment. Then what about the direction of the magnetic field? That is perpendicular to the XY plane. Perpendicular to the XY plane. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. Now in this class we are going to see the force between two current carrying conductors kept parallel to each other. Okay. Let's enjoy the class. Force between two current carrying conductors kept parallel. Okay. So let us consider a wire A, B and it carries a current I. அப்போ இதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்னையா பார்த்துருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு வயர்ல கரண்ட் போச்சுன்னா அந்த வயரை சுற்றிலும் ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகும். ரைட், ஓகே. அப்போ அதுக்கான மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுக்கான ஃபார்முலா என்னம்மா அப்படின்னா B ஈக்குவல் டு மியூ நாட் I by 2 pi A. ஓகேவா? Do you get it? Yes. இப்போ நான் என்னையா பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா இப்போ இதை சுற்றில ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு வந்துருச்சு. ஆமா சார், இந்த நாள வந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு தான் B. ஓகே. இப்போ இன்னொரு கண்டக்டரை வைக்கிறோம். now A B. இப்போ இதுல கரண்ட் போகுது. இப்ப இதுல கரண்ட் போனா இதனால வர்ற மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு இப்படி இருக்கும். ஓகே. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதோட கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர் அதோட மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல இருக்கு. இதோட மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர் இருக்கு. அப்படின்னா என்ன சார்? அப்படின்னா ஒரு கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டரை ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல வச்சா, ஒரு கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டரை ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்ல வச்சா இட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்சஸ் எ ஃபோர்ஸ். ஸோ ஃபோர்ஸ் ஈக்குவல் என்னையா? BIL sin theta. BIL sin theta. Suppose in case theta is 90. So sin 90 is 1. So 1 into bill. So it becomes bill. Or otherwise, I want to represent it in vector form. அப்போ ஒரு வெக்டார் ஃபார்மா இருந்தா என்னையா பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா சைன் காம்பனண்ட்டை எடுக்கணும்னா கிராஸ் ப்ராடக்ட் ஆஃப் டூ வெக்டார். அப்ப என்ன சொல்லலாம்? பி வெக்டார் கிராஸ் ஐஎல் வெக்டார் இஸ் எஃப் வெக்டார். ஓகே, இப்ப எனக்கு இந்த இதை நம்ம கொஞ்சம் உல்டா பண்ணி இதுல சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணா நமக்கு 5 மார்க் வாங்கிடலாம். எப்படியா உல்டா பண்ண போறோம்? இப்ப பாரு, 2 கரண்ட் இருக்கு. சோ இது 1, இது 2. இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர்னால வந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு இவன் V1. இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர்னால வந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு இவன். இப்ப நல்லா பாருங்க, நமக்கு 2 கேஸ் வந்துருச்சு. அப்ப 2 மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டு வரணும். அப்ப B1 ஈக்குவல் டு என்ன வந்துடும்? μ0 I1 by 2πa. சப்போஸ் இவனா இருந்தா என்ன மாதிரி இருக்கும்? B2 ஈக்குவல் டு μ0 I2 by 2πa. இப்பதான் கேஸ் மாற போகுது. இங்க போறோம். இப்ப பாருங்க, இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர் இந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல இருக்கு. இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர் இந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல இருக்கு. அப்ப இந்த ஃபோர்ஸ் எப்படியா எழுதலாம் அப்படின்னா, F1 ஈக்குவல் டு இந்த கரண்ட் கேரிங் கண்டக்டர் இந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டுல இருக்கு. அப்ப இது என்ன மாறிடும்? B2 வெக்டார் கிராஸ் IL வெக்டார். இது அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சா? ரைட், ஓகே. அப்ப இதுக்கு என்னமா சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னா, F2 வெக்டார் ஈக்குவல் டு, அப்ப இது இதோட மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட்ல இருக்கு. அப்ப என்ன வந்துரும்? B1 இன்டு IL வெக்டார். ஓகே, அப்ப இதுல போற கரண்ட் என்னையா? I1. அப்ப இங்க என்ன வந்துரும்? I1. அப்ப F2 இருந்தா கரண்ட் என்ன வந்துரும்? I2. ஓகேவா? இப்ப இது அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சா? இதுல ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா? நோ டவுட். இப்ப என்னமா பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, இந்த B2 ஓட வேல்யூ போய் இங்க போய் சப்ஸ்டிடியூட் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, அப்ப சப்ஸ்டிடியூட் பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும்? μ0 இல்ல ஒரு ஸ்டெப் என்ன போட்டுக்கலாம், வெக்டார்ல கிராஸ் ப்ராடக்ட்டை எடுக்கணும்னா sin θ. சோ B2 I1 L இன்டு sin θ. இங்க sin வந்ததுனால இங்க என்ன ஆயிரும் அப்படின்னா F1 ஆயிரும். ஓகே, சப்போஸ் இப்ப θ ஈக்குவல் டு 90 இருந்தா sin 90 ஈக்குவல் டு என்னையா? 1. அப்ப F1 ஈக்குவல் டு B2 I1 L. இப்ப அதே மாதிரிதான் கேஸ் இங்க என்ன சொல்லலாம்னா, வெக்டார்ல கிராஸ் ப்ராடக்ட்டை எடுக்கணும்னா F2 ஈக்குவல் டு B1 I2 L sin θ. இப்ப sin θ ஈக்குவல் டு 90 இருந்தா sin 90 ஈக்குவல் எவ்வளவுமா? 1. So 1 into something. So F2 equal to B1 I2 L. Okay. Now substitute the value of B2. அப்ப என்ன ஆச்சு அப்படின்னா, F1 equal to B2. அப்ப என்ன ஆயிரும்? μ0 I2 by 2πa into I1 into L. Okay. Now substitute the value for B1. B1 ஓட வேல்யூ சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, F2 equal to μ0 I1 by 2πa into I2 into L. Now compare these two equations. μ0 by 2πa, I2 I1 into L. When RHS are equal na LHS are equal. அப்ப என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, F1 equal to F2 equal to μ0 by 2πa into I1 I2 into L. So this is the expression for force between two current carrying conductors when it is kept parallel to each other. Okay. So இதுல ஒரு அப்ஜெக்டிவா கேட்டா எப்படிமா கேட்கலாம் அப்படின்னா, when the two current carrying conductors carrying the current in the same direction, it experiences a attractive force. At the same time, when the current is flowing in the opposite direction, it experiences a repulsive force. சரி, ரைட், ஓகே. இதை வச்சு நம்மளை கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம், ஒரு 3 மார்க் கொஸ்டின் கேட்கலாம் ஸ்டேட் போர்டை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும். இல்ல இதே 1 மார்க்கா இருந்துச்சுன்னா, இல்லாட்டி 2 மார்க்கா இருந்துச்சுன்னா அது CBSE. எப்படி டிஃபைன் கரண்ட் இன் டர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஃபோர்ஸ் அப்படின்னு கேட்போம். அப்ப இதை எப்படியா மாத்தலாம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அப்படின்னா, F1 equal to F2. So in general it is F equal to μ0 I1 I2 L by 2πa. இப்போ ஒரு கண்டிஷன் சொல்ல போறோம். என்ன கண்டிஷன் அப்படின்னா, I1 equal to I2 equal to 1 ampere. Yes. Then L equal to 1 meter. Yes, A. So what is A? A is the separation between the two. Separation between the two current carrying conductors. So A equal to 1 meter. இப்ப இந்த மல்டிப்ளிகேஷன் L இந்த சைடு வந்தா என்ன ஆயிரும் அப்படின்னா டிவிஷன் ஆயிரும். F by L equal to mu naught. Mu naught வேல்யூ எவ்வளவுமா 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. I1 into I2 that is 1. So 1 into 1 divided by 2 pi A. So 2 pi into A. A வேல்யூ எவ்வளவுமா 1. Right, okay. இப்ப L ஓட வேல்யூ என்னையா 1 மீட்டர். அப்ப F by 1 மீட்டர் equal 1 into 1 1 1 into something something 1 into something something. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம் pi cancel பண்ணலாம். 1 2 is 2 2 2s are 4. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 is the force. The unit of force is Newton. அப்ப denominator என்ன இருக்கு மீட்டர். Newton per meter. சரி ரைட். சரி ஏதோ டெரிவேஷன் மாதிரி சொல்லிட்டீங்க. ஆனா சொல்ல கேட்கறப்ப என்ன சொன்னீங்க டிஃபைன் ஆம்பியர் இன் டர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஃபோர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி சொன்னீங்க. அதை டிஃபைன் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னா எப்படி ஆரம்பிச்சுமோ அதே மாதிரி. When two current carrying conductors kept parallel to each other, carrying equal current of 1 ampere, having a length of 1 meter, separated by a distance of 1 meter in air. ஏன் air அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம்? அங்க என்ன இருக்கு? mu naught. Okay. Air. It experiences a force per unit length of 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 Newton per meter. Newton per meter is defined as current in terms of force. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. A bar magnet of dipole moment 3 ampere meter square rests with its center on a frictionless pivot. A force F is applied at right angles to the axis of the magnet, the 10 centimeter from the pivot. It is observed that an external magnetic field of 0.25 Tesla is required to hold the magnet in equilibrium at an angle of 30 degrees with the field. Calculate the value of force. How will the equilibrium be affected if F is withdrawn? Okay. So what is the force? If the radius is 10 centimeter, convert the centimeter into meter. So 10 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. The magnetic moment is 3 ampere meter square. The magnetic field is 0.25 Tesla and it is aligned at an angle of 30 degree. So what is the force? Now the restoring couple equal to deflecting couple. Restoring couple equal to. So what is restoring couple? That is force into perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance. That is equal to mb sin theta. Okay. So what is restoring couple? That is F into R. Is deflecting couple. That is mb sin theta. So F only we are going to calculate. So what is R? That is 10. So here plus 1 minus 2. So we can write minus 1 equal to m. So what is m? Is 3. Okay. Into b is 0.25 into sin. What is the angle? 30. Okay. Sin 30. So the multiplication value goes to right side as division. So F equal to 3 into 0.25 into sin 30 is 1 by 2 into 10 to the power minus 1. The minus 1 goes to the numerator as plus 1. So 3 into 0.25 into 10 by 2. So 1 2 is 2. 5 2s are 10. So 3 5s are 15. So 15 into 0.25 that will be 4.75. This much of force, this much of Newton. Okay. So when the force is withdrawn, what happens to the equilibrium? So that the magnet will oscillate about its mean position. Then finally it aligned in the external magnetic field. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. Now in this class we are going to see 2020 year question section D question number 36. அதில் என்ன செட்டியா அப்படின்னா 55 bar 4 bar 1. Okay, let's enjoy the class. Draw the ray diagram showing refraction of a ray of light through a glass prism. Derive the expression for the refractive index mu of the material of the prism in terms of the angle of the prism A and the angle of minimum deviation del m. Okay. இன்னைக்கு என்ன பார்க்க போறோம் அப்படின்னா prism. Okay. அப்ப when a glass is bounded by 3 surfaces. Okay. So இதான் நமக்கு என்னையா ஒரு glass prism. Let it will be A, B and C. Okay. Now a ray of light I is incident on the face AB. Okay. Now it can be taken as PQ. So what is PQ? PQ is the incident ray. Okay. When the ray falls on the face AB, then it is refracted along QR. Okay. So what is QR? QR is the refracted ray. Okay. Now the ray which is at R is emergent out in the face AC. Okay. Now RS is the emergent ray. Okay. Now at this point Q, we can draw a normal. Okay. Now the angle between normal and the incident ray is called the angle of incidence. Okay. So now it will be the angle of incidence. So PQN. Okay. So in the triangle PQN is angle of incidence. At this point R, we can draw a normal. Okay. So at this place, it makes an angle. Okay. The ray which comes out is the emergent ray. So angle of emergence. So SRN. So in the triangle SRN, which makes an angle of E. Okay. Now this is the normal and it is a refracted ray. The angle between normal and the refracted ray is angle of refraction R1. Here also it's a refracted ray. It is the normal. Angle between normal and the refracted ray is called the angle of refraction R2. Okay. Now the ray which is incident is extended. Okay. At the same time, the ray which is emergent is also emergent. Okay. So which makes angle of deviation. So the angle of deviation is taken as D. Okay. Now the angle between normal and the undeviated ray is called D1 and it can be taken as D2. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. Okay. Now we are going to simplify the diagram. So look at this place. Okay. Here we are having two opposite angles. Here it will be I. The opposite side is divided into two. It is D1 and R1. Opposite angles are equal. So angle I equal to D1 plus R1. Now the plus R1 comes to this side as minus R1. So I minus R1 equal to D1. Now it's taken as equation number 1. Now look at this side. Okay. Here also we are having like this. Okay. So this is angle of emergence. Now it's divided into two. One is D2, another one is R2. Once again, the opposite angles are equal. Then the angle of emergence equal to D2 plus R2. The plus R2 comes to this side as minus R2. So E minus R2 equal to d2. Now it's taken as equation number 2. Now look at this place. Okay. Okay. Now it is a d1. Now it's a d2. When it is extended, it is 2. The sum of exterior angle is equal to sum of interior angle. So from that, what we can write? D equal to d1 plus d2. Now it's taken as equation number 3. Now substitute 1 and 2 in 3. Okay. So substitute 1 and 2 in 3. So that we can get D equal to D1. So what is the value of D1? I minus R1. So I minus R1 plus D2 E minus R2. So E minus R2. Now just we can modify the formula. So how we can modify the formula? I plus E minus R1 minus R2. The angle I equal to angle E. Okay. So that can be taken as I. That can be taken as I. So for instead of angle of emergence, we can write yes I. Okay. So I plus I minus R1 minus R2. So minus of R1 plus R2. That is equal to D. Okay. Now it can be taken as equation number 4. Okay. Now look at this triangle. Okay. So it can be taken as N. Okay. So Q, N, R. Okay. So in the triangle Q, N, R, we can get 3 angles. So Q, N, R. It will be R1 and it will be R2. So sum of 3 angles is 180. So that we can write R1 plus R2 plus Q, N, R equal to 180. Now it's taken as equation number 5. Now look at this. So here it makes an angle. So that can be taken as angle of the prism. So the angle of the prism and the opposite angle which makes 180 degree. 180 degree. So how we can draw? Like that we can draw. So it is the angle of the prism. That is Q, N, R. So when we add these two, then it becomes 180. So angle of the prism plus angle of Q, N, R equal to 180. Now equation number 6. Compare 5 and 6. When right hand sides are equal, the left hand sides are equal. In the left hand sides, the Q, N, R is also equal. So at the place of A, we are having R1 plus R2. So that we can say A equal to R1 plus R2. Now it's taken as equation number 7. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you any doubts? No doubt. Okay, fine. So now the angle of refraction R1 equal to R2 equal to R. Then what happens? R1 plus R2 equal to A. So that A equal to R plus R. So R plus R, 2R. So A equal to 2R. The multiplication 2 comes to this as division 2. So that A by 2 equal to R. Okay. Now we can modify the 4. Okay. So modify 4. So I plus I, 2I. So D equal to 2I minus R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. That can be taken as A. So A. So the minus R1 plus R2 is A. So the minus A comes to this side as plus A. So A plus D equal to 2I. Then I equal to A plus D by 2. Okay. So now we calculated the value of R and I. So from that we can write. Yes. What we can write? Snell's law. So what is Snell's law? The refractive index N. The refractive index can be taken as mu. Okay. That is equal to sin I by sine r. So what is sine I? A plus d by 2. So this formula can be written in three different forms. So how we can write? That is mu equal to sine I a plus d by 2 by r sine a by 2. Okay. So for instead of small d, we can go for a capital D. Then it can be taken as So mu equal to sine a plus d by 2 divided by sine a by 2. So this is the second form. Okay. அப்ப நம்ம கொஸ்டின்ல என்னமா கேட்டிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா in terms of del m அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. In terms of del m, that is angle of minimum deviation position. So for instead of small d, or for instead of capital D, we can write del m. So the refractive index equal to sine a plus del m by 2 divided by sine a by 2. Okay. Okay, so in the diagram, from the beginning, if you want to take del m, then it becomes del m, del 1, del 2. No, sir, I want to take it as a capital D. So it's a capital D, capital D1, capital D2. Okay, do you get it now? Do you any doubts? No doubts. Okay, now the second question. A ray of light PQ enters on isosceles right-angled prism ABC of refractive index 1.5 as shown in figure. Trace the path of the ray through the prism, that is option A. Then the second question B. What will be the effect on the path of ray if the refractive index of the prism is 1.4? Okay, right. So what is the question? So what is the path of the ray? What is the refractive index of the glass prism? 1.52. But in our question, what is the refractive index for the first question? 1.5. So which is less than. So what happens? The ray which bend and then once again face out. Why? Because the triangle is isosceles. So here it is 90. So 45. Here it is 45. So it makes an angle of 45 degree. Okay. Then refractive index is less than that. So that it moves like this. Okay. So what about the second question? Second question. What happens to the ray of light? The ray of light has total internal reflection. Why the total internal reflection takes place? Because in the second question, what is given? 1.4 is the refractive index. Here the glass prism has a refractive index of 1.52, which is less than that 1.4. So 1.4 is less than that of 1.5. So that total internal reflection takes place. Okay, do you get it now? Do you any doubts? No doubts. Okay, so 36B. Two thin lenses are placed coaxially in contact. Obtain the expression for the focal length of this combination in terms of the focal length of two lenses. Okay. Okay. So 36B. So two convex lenses are placed coaxially in contact. Okay. Now it will be lens 1 and it will be lens 2. Suppose the object is placed at O. So from the O, the ray which falls on the first lens and the refraction takes place. Then it falls on the second one and produces the final image at a B dash. So what is lens formula? 1 by F equal to 1 by V minus 1 by U. Now it's taken as equation number 1. For the lens 1 or for the first case, the focal length of the first one becomes F1. So the image is obtained at V dash. so that the image distance V becomes V dash. So now we can modify this formula. So what happened? 1 by F1 equal to 1 by V dash minus 1 by U. Now it's taken as equation number 2. Now the image acting as object for the second one, then it produces the final image at this place. So for second case or for second lens, okay. So for second lens, the focal length becomes f2. Okay. The image distance is v. But what about object distance? The object distance is nothing but v. Okay. So how we can modify this formula? Then 1 by f2 equal to 1 by image distance. So here to here. So image distance is v minus object distance. So the object distance is nothing but v dash. So 1 by v dash. Now slightly we can modify the formula. Okay. So 1 by f2 equal to minus 1 by v dash plus 1 by v. Now it's taken as equation number 3. Now we can add 2 and 3. So 1 by f1 equal to 1 by v dash minus 1 by u. The second equation 1 by f2 equal to minus 1 by v dash plus 1 by v. Okay. So when we add LHS, then it becomes 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Okay. So plus 1 by v dash minus 1 by v dash getting cancelled. So it becomes 1 by v minus 1 by u. So 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. So what is 1 by v minus 1 by u? That is 1 by f. So the formula can be changed. 1 by f equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Okay. So this is the focal length of combination of convex lenses when it is coaxially placed. Okay. Now we can go to the second question. B. 36 B. A converging lens of refractive index 1.5 has a power of 10 diopter. When it is completely immersed in a liquid, it behaves as a diverging lens of focal length 50 centimeter. Find the refractive index of the liquid. Okay. Okay. In 36b, which is given the refractive index. The refractive index is given as 1.5 and its power is 10 diopter. When it is immersed in a liquid, then its focal length becomes 50 centimeter. 50 centimeter. So what is the refractive index of the liquid? That is a question. Okay. So how we can relate power and focal length? Okay. First, power equal to 1 by f equal to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Now it is kept in air and when it is kept in liquid. We are having two cases. So I want to modify this formula. Okay. Now what is P1? That is equal to 1 by F1 equal to refractive index of air with respect to glass minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Now it's taken as equation number 1. When it is kept inside the liquid, so the power is changed. P2 equal to 1 by F2 equal to the refractive index of liquid with respect to glass minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Now it's taken as equation number 2. Now the equation number 1 divided by 2. So P1 by P2 equal to 1 by F1 by 1 by F2 equal to here the refractive index of air with respect to glass minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2 divided by the refractive index of liquid with respect to glass minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Okay. Now P1 by P2 equal to. Now it becomes a reciprocal. So F2 by F1. Now 1 by R1, 1 by R1 getting cancelled. So that we can get refractive index of yarn with respect to glass minus 1 divided by refractive index of liquid with respect to glass minus 1. Okay, so this is the required formula to solve this particular problem. Okay, so this is the required formula. Okay, so P1 by P2. So we know the value of P1. So we have to calculate the value of P2. So how we can relate these two? Okay, so power is inversely proportional to focal length. Now we can modify this one. How we can modify? P2 equal to 1 by F2. So what is the value of F2? 50 centimeter. Convert the centimeter into meter. 50 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. So 1 by F2. 50 into 10 to the power minus 2. The minus 2 goes to the numerator as plus 2. So 10 to the power 2 divided by 50. So what is 10 to the power 2? 100 by 50. So 0, 0. 1 5 is 5. 2 5s are 10. So power of the second one is 2. So what is the word given? It's a diverging. So for that word diverging, we can introduce the word, symbol minus. So what is the unit of power? This much of diameter. So now we know the value of P1 and P2. Then we can go to this formula. So P1 is 10. P2, that is the value of minus 2. The refractive index of the glass prism with respect to air is 1.5. 1.5 minus 1. We doesn't know the value of this one. Minus 1. Now 1 2 is 2. 5 2s are 10. Okay. So minus 5 equal to 1.5 minus 1. So 0.5 divided by LG minus 1. Now the division value comes to this as multiplication value. Now the division value comes to this as multiplication value. So the refractive index of liquid with respect to glass minus 1, that is equal to, now the multiplication value comes to this as division. So 0.5 divided by minus 5. The minus 1 goes to right side as plus 1. So refractive index of glass equal to 0.5 divided by 0. So plus 1 goes to this side as minus plus 1 divided by 1. So 1 into minus 5, 5. 1 into 5, 0.5. 1 into 5, 5. Okay. 0.5 minus 5. So it becomes minus 4.5 divided by minus 5. So minus minus getting cancelled. Now, how we can write this one? Refractive index of liquid with respect to glass. That can be taken as refractive index of the glass divided by refractive index of the liquid. That is 4.5 divided by 5. So what is the refractive index of the glass with respect to air is 1.5. So 1.5 divided by NL equal to 4.5 divided by 5. So the division value goes to this as multiplication. So NL, that is refractive index of the liquid. Now this one comes to this as reciprocal. 4 by 4.5 into 1.5. So 1.5 is 1.5. So 3 times. So refractive index of the liquid is 5 by 3. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. Now in this class we are going to see question number 37 from the year question 2020. Then 55 bar 4 bar 1 set. Okay. Let's enjoy the class. Question number 37. A. Derive the law of radioactive decay. N equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. Okay. So what is radioactive law of disintegration? Okay. So rate of disintegration is directly proportional to number of atoms present at that instant. So what is the word we used? Disintegration. So number of atoms decreases. So that I put the minus sign. So to take the proportional sign, we can add the constant. So minus dn by dt equal to lambda n. By using the variable separable method, the multiplication n comes to this side as division. The division t goes to right side as multiplication. So minus dn by n equal to lambda into dt. Now it is multiplied by minus. So when it is multiplied by minus, so minus into minus, so it becomes plus. Minus into plus, minus lambda into dt. Now in both sides we are having differential form. So integrate on both sides. So integral dn by n equal to minus lambda into integral dt. Okay. So 1 by n is integrated. So it becomes log n base e. Okay. That is equal to minus lambda. When we integrate dt, then it becomes t plus some constant. Okay. So this is the general form. At that time, so when it disintegrates, at that time, the time equal to 0. At that time, the number of atoms present can be taken as n naught. Okay, now the n becomes n naught. So log base e power n naught equal to minus lambda into t. So what is the value of t? Is 0 plus c. So 0 into lambda, 0. 0 plus c, c. So c equal to log base e power n naught. Now, for instead of c, we can substitute log base e power n naught. So, log base e power n equal to minus lambda t plus c. So, what is the value of c? Log base e power n naught. Now, plus value comes to this as minus. So that log base e power n minus log base e power n naught equal to minus lambda into t. In both of the term, we are having log base e. So log base e is taken as common. Okay. Now what happened to the power n and n naught? Here we are having the sign minus. So that we can write it in the division. How we can write it in division? That is n by n naught equal to minus lambda t. Now it is in log form. So log form is converted into exponential form. So what is log form? Log a power b equal to c is the log form. So the b which comes down, so b. The a which goes to the right side, a. So that the c goes to the power. Like that we can remember. The same method I am going to write this one. So the power n by n naught. Okay. The e goes to the right side, e. Now it goes to the power. Okay. Now the division n naught goes to right side as multiplication. So that n equal to n naught e power minus t. So this is the required formula. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. The next question, 37b. The half-life of uranium-92-238 undergoes a alpha decay is 4.5 into 10 to the power 9 years. Find its mean life. So what is the half-life? That is 4.5 into 10 to the power 9 years. Okay. Then what is the mean life? Okay. So what is the formula to calculate the mean life? That is 1 by lambda. But we doesn't know the value of disintegration constant. Okay. But we know the value of T half. So what is the formula for T half? So T half equal to 0.6931 divided by lambda. But here also we doesn't know the value of lambda. or otherwise by calculating the value of lambda, then substituting, and we can calculate the value of mean life. For instead of that, I want to modify the formula. So how we can modify? Find 6931 into 1 by lambda. So for instead of 1 by lambda, we can write tau. So 0.6931 times of tau is T half. Now the multiplication value comes with this as division. So that we can get torque tau equal to T half divided by 0.6931. Now, what is the value of T half? That is 4.5 into 10 to the power 9 divided by, so 0.6931. So when you divide, then we can get 6.49. 6.49 into 10 to the power 9. This life for this time, this much of mean life. So it is in years. Okay. Do you get it now? Do you need doubts? No doubts. So 37C. What fraction of the initial mass of a radioactive substance will decay in 5 half-life periods? Okay, let's enjoy the class. Okay, so 37C. 37C. Okay, so how much time? That is n equal to 5 half times. Okay, what fraction it goes? So what is the formula? N by n naught equal to 2 power n. So 1 by 2 power n. So 2 power 5. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 2s are 32. So 1 by 32 times it takes fraction. Okay, do you get it now? Do you any doubts? No doubts. Okay. Now in this class we are going to see 37 R question A. State the postulates of Bohr's model of hydrogen atom and derive the expression for Bohr radius. Okay. So what is the postulates of Bohr? So Bohr atom model. In Bohr atom model, what is the postulates? So, what are the postulates? The first one, the electrons are revolving only in permissible orbits. Permissible orbits. When the electrons are revolving in the permissible orbit, it possesses the angular momentum. The angular momentum which increases as mvr as the integral multiple of nh by 2 pi. The electron does not radiate energy in stationary orbit. In stationary orbit. This is the first postulate. And the second postulate, when the electron jumps from higher orbit to the lower orbit, it radiates the energy. Okay. So, E2 minus E1 equal to H mu. Okay. Then, so what is the second part of this question? That is, obtain the radius of Bohr. Okay. So, the nucleus is at the center. The electrons are revolving around in the particular orbit. The nucleus has a charge Ze and the electrons are revolving. Okay, in the particular orbit. The nucleus has a positive charge. The positive charge and the negative charge attract each other. Then the attractive force was set by Coulomb. So according to Coulomb's law. So what is the force? 2Q, 2R. Okay. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1, Q2 by R square. So F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Q1 is the charge of the nucleus, Ze. Then Q2 is the charge of the electron, is E, divided by radius of nth orbit, Rn square. Now E and E becomes E square. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Ze square by Rn square is the force. Okay. Now it moves along the circular path. So it experiences a centripetal force. So what is the expression for centripetal force? mv squared by r. Okay. Now it is in the nth orbit. So Vn Rn. Now it's taken as equation number 2. Okay. So what is V? V is the linear velocity. But what happened to the electrons? It moves in the circular path and it possesses the angular velocity. So what is the relation between linear velocity and the angular velocity? So V equal to R omega. For nth orbit, we can write Vn Rn omega n. Now it's taken as equation number 3. Now substitute 3 in 2. Okay. So F equal to M into Vn. So what is Vn? Rn omega n. So Rn omega n. Here we are having the whole square. So whole square divided by Rn. Okay. Now the square is common to first term and the second term. So it becomes M into Rn squared into omega n squared divided by Rn. Now Rn squared getting cancelled. So M Rn into omega n squared is the force. Now it's taken as equation number 4. Okay. Now compare 1 and 4. When LHS are equal, automatically RHS are equal. When RHS are equal, M Rn omega n squared equal to this one 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Z E squared by Rn squared. Okay. Now the multiplication M Rn goes to right side as division. So omega n squared equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Z E squared. The multiplication M goes to this side as division. The multiplication Rn goes to this side as division. Already in that division we are having Rn squared. So it becomes Rn cube. Now it's taken as equation number 5. Now I want to take the postulates of Bohr. So what is the postulates of Bohr? L equal to m v r equal to nh by 2 pi. So m v r equal to nh by 2 pi. For the radius of the nth orbit, so we can write Vn or n. Okay. So what we can write for Vn? Yes, Rn omega n. So for instead of Vn, m into Vn, we can write Rn omega n. So Rn omega n into Rn equal to nh by 2 pi. nh by 2 pi. Now Rn into Rn square. So m Rn square into omega n equal to nh by 2 pi. Now the multiplication m Rn square goes to the right side as division. So omega n equal to nh by 2 pi into m Rn square. Now square on both sides. So when we square on both sides, omega n squared equal to n squared h squared by 4 pi squared m squared Rn power 4. Now it's taken as equation number 6. Now compare 5 and 6. Compare 5 and 6. Omega n squared, omega n squared. Now LHS are equal. So automatically RHS are equal. So when RHS are equal, so it becomes 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Z E squared by m into Rn cube equal to n squared h squared by 4 pi squared m squared Rn power 4. So in the division Rn power 4 comes to this as multiplication. So Rn power 4 divided by, keep the Rn cube in the same sign. So Rn cube equal to n squared h squared by 4 pi squared m squared. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 goes to right side as division. So 4 pi epsilon 0 divided by Z E squared goes to right side as division. Okay. Okay. So Rn cube, Rn power 4 getting cancelled. So it becomes Rn equal to. So what is the remaining term? N squared h squared into epsilon 0 divided by pi m z e squared. Pi m z e squared. Okay. So what is H? H is the Planck's constant, 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Epsilon 0, permittivity of free space. Okay, 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton per meter square. Pi is 3.14. Mass of electron 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. E, magnitude of charge of electron 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So by knowing all the values, then finally we can get then Rn equal to 0.53 Armstrong into n squared. So this is the expression for radius of nth orbits. Okay, do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. So the next question, 37b. Find the ratio of the longest and shortest wavelength among the spectral lines of Balmer series in the spectrum of hydrogen atom. Okay, let's enjoy the class. Okay, so now 37b question. Here we are having two important words. Okay, so one is Balmer. Okay, so what is Balmer? Apna. So L B P B P. That is Lyman, Balmer, Passion, bracket, Fund. So here N1 equal to 1 is Lyman. N1 equal to 2, Balmer. 3, 4, 5. So for our case, Balmer, the value of N1 is 2. Okay. Next, shortest wavelength. Shortest wavelength. So for shortest wavelength, the N2 is infinity. N2 is infinity. Okay. For the longest wavelength. So it depends on the cases. For Balmer, okay. So nucleus is at the center. Then the electrons are revolving round in the particular orbit. Okay. Like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Balmer. When the electron jumps from any of the outer orbit to the second orbit. Okay. Now third to second, fourth to second, fifth to second, sixth to second. Then it is Balmer series which lies in the visible region. Okay. Appa infinity to second is the shortest. So immediate shifting apna third to second. So the value of N2 is third for the Balmer series. Okay. Then what is the formula to calculate? It is mu bar equal to 1 by lambda equal to R into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square is the general formula. Now I want to modify this one. Okay. For the shortest wavelength, so 1 by lambda S equal to R into 1 by N1 square. For N1, for Balmer, it is 2. So 2 square minus 1 by N2 is infinity square. Okay. So 1 by lambda S equal to R into 1 by 4. Infinity square, infinity. Anything by infinity, 0. So we can leave it. So lambda S equal to 1 into R. So R by 4. Now it's taken as equation number 1. For the longest wavelength, that is mu bar equal to 1 by lambda L equal to R into 1 by N1 square, that is 2 square. 1 by N2 square, that is 3 square. So R into 2 2s are 4. 3 3s are 9. Now we can go for LCM. So 9 4s are 36. 1 9 is 9. 1 4 is 4. Okay. So 9 minus 4, 5 by 36. This times of R is the 1 by lambda L. Okay. Now, what is the question? What is the ratio of longest to the shortest? Okay. So, equation 1 divided by 2. 1 by lambda S by 1 by lambda L equal to 1 by lambda S, that is R by 4. R by 4 divided by 1 by lambda L, 5R by 36. 5R by 36. Now it becomes reciprocal. That is 1 by lambda S into lambda L by 1. That is R by 4 into 36 by 5R. So 1 into lambda L by 1 into lambda S. R getting cancelled. 1 4 is 4. 9 4s are 30. So 9 by 5. So what is the question? What is the ratio of longest wavelength to the shortest wavelength? So lambda L is to lambda S equal to 9 is to 5. This is your answer. Okay. So for next year or any other year questions, we can see. For instead of the word Balmer, they can change passion. BP. Lyman, Palmer, passion, bracket, fund. So that is fund. So for instead of the word Balmer, they can use the word fund. So automatically the value of N1 becomes 5 and N2 becomes infinity for the shortest. For the longest, so the next nearby that, it is 6. So N2 is 6. Like that, you can solve the problem by using this problem. Okay, do you get it now? Do you have any doubts? No doubts. We'll meet in the next class.